You weren't looking for them. You weren't stalking their page, and you weren't even talking about them. So why did they randomly pop up in your head at 2:17 in the morning? Why are they suddenly on your mind again? Welcome to Once in a Blue Moon. I'm your favorite faces melanated mystic, guided by spirit, and always in divine timing. You didn't land here by accident, so let's tap in and see what these cards have for you today. All right, collective. This feels less like an obsession and more like a unfinished understanding. Because when I look at these cards, I don't immediately see you're meant to be together. I see there was something about this situation that never fully made sense to you. Let's talk about it. The first card that came out was the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And this card immediately tells me something wasn't working. Somebody wasn't pulling their weight, and somebody wasn't corroborating. Somebody wasn't meeting somebody halfway, and the effort wasn't balanced. The communication wasn't balanced, and the investment wasn't balanced. Spirit keeps showing me somebody feeling like I was trying to build something with somebody who wasn't really helping me build it. You know, that's frustrating. When somebody says they want the same thing you want, but their actions tell a completely different story, that's this energy right here. Now, the next card we have is the Four of Wands. And here's where it gets interesting, because despite the issues, there was potential here, real potential. This wasn't some random interaction you forgot about 2 days later. This was a situation that made you imagine a future, a relationship, a partnership, a friendship, a business, home, celebration, something stable. And Spirit keeps showing me somebody who saw what this could have become, not just what it was. And honestly, sometimes that's the hardest thing to let go of. Not the reality, the potential. Then the next card we have is the Six of Pentacles. And this is where Spirit starts answering the question. Why are they suddenly on your mind? Because somewhere inside you, you're still measuring the scales. Still trying to understand what was given, what wasn't given, who invested more, who showed up more, who cared more, who sacrificed more. Spirit keeps showing me somebody thinking, did I ask for too much, or did I settle for too little? Now, that is the question, because the Six of Pentacles is balance, reciprocity, equal exchange, and something about this connection never felt completely balanced. Then the last card we have is the King of Swords. Scoop that over. And that's the answer. The King of Swords isn't emotional. He's analytic. He's logical. He's objective. This card says your mind is revisiting the situation because you're finally seeing it clearly, not emotionally, logically. For example, have you ever looked back at a situation months later and suddenly noticed things you completely missed when you were in the situation? Like the red flags, patterns, excuses, contradictions, things that didn't make sense, and things you overlooked because your feelings were involved. That's where this feels like. And Spirit is showing me somebody reaching a new level of clarity, not because the situation changed, because you changed. And the overall message, I don't think they're suddenly on your mind because you meant to run back. I think they're suddenly on your mind because your perspective has evolved. And now you're understanding things you couldn't understand before. Sometimes people reappear in your thoughts not because they're for your future, they're there for your future. But because you finally become wise enough to understand the lesson. Because the cards keep saying you're not missing them as much as you're understanding them. A big difference. If this reading is resonating with you, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share with somebody who has a random person from their past suddenly pop back into their head lately. And if you like a personal reading, my booking link is in the bio. Check it out. Now, moving forward, take the lesson without reopening the wound. Clarity is a gift. Use it to make better decisions moving forward instead of trying to rewrite the past. Now, collective, in the comments below, let me know. Have you ever looked back at an old situation and realized the lesson didn't fully make sense until months or even years later? And I'll see you in the next one.